It had been less than 3 minutes since the man had awakened his S-rank innate fate bone, when his cousin claimed that the bone belonged to him and demanded the man dig it out and return it. Not only did no one in the family speak up for him, instead they spent 10 billion yuan to hire an underground doctor, who brutally smashed the bone out of the man's body, and then transplanted it into the cousin, just when he thought he would be reduced to a useless person and swallow his anger for life. He unexpectedly activated the 3 Alter C Assembly God-slaying system, awakening the 3S rank innate fate bone, demon flame body tempering. As long as he kills any hostile life form, he can obtain killing points. When he accumulates 10,000 points, he can randomly draw top-tier divine abilities or magical artifacts. However, Lin Fan, who had gained powerful strength, didn't rush to take revenge. Instead, he rushed back to school for classes first. Only because the Heavenly Covenant female battle would be held in a week. It was a grand event that even the top figures of 2 generations in the military academy would pay attention to. If he wanted to rise rapidly, he had to display his powerful strength, and then report it to the country, but unexpectedly, as soon as he walked through the school gate, an arrogant voice rang out, "Chu Dian, get over here. My boyfriend wants to spar with you. Hurry up." Lin Fan looked in the direction of the voice. A girl with her hands on her hips stood right in front of him. Her sweet face was filled with impatience and disgust. The moment she saw him, Lin Fan raised an eyebrow. Killing intent filled his eyes. Wuxia, my cousin's sister. On weekdays, she would always bully him, relying on Grandpa's favor, making things difficult for him in every way. Now that he had been driven out of the Chu family, she still wanted to step on him one more time. But Lin Fan didn't say anything more. He curled his lips into a smile and followed her directly. After all, he had now awakened his 3S rank ability. Why would he be afraid of a bitch like her? When they arrived at the training ground, a robust young man stood on the arena, looking at Lin Fan below the stage with a provocative expression. "Get up here, former genius." Lin Fan looked disdainful and jumped onto the arena straight away. He looked at Zhang Boqi with a half-smile. "Zhang Boqi," Zhang Boqi frowned tightly. Somehow, ever since Lin Fan jumped onto the arena, he had felt a strong sense of oppression. This must be an illusion. Lin Fan had clearly had his innate fate bone dug out. He had already become a useless person. Thinking this, Zhang Boqi regained his confidence. He gripped the longsword in his hand tightly and was about to charge at Lin Fan. But unexpectedly, Lin Fan moved first. He stepped forward and threw a fist shrouded in demon flames. With overwhelming force, he directly shattered Zhang Boqi's right shoulder. A crisp crack sound, a terrifying sound of bone fracture exploded immediately after. A blood flower bloomed on Zhang Boqi's shoulder. His body was sent flying backward by the enormous force. Then he crashed heavily against the edge of the high platform, sending up a shower of gravel. For a moment, the entire training ground fell into dead silence. The onlookers stared dumbfounded at this scene. After Zhang Boqi spat out a mouthful of blood, his face was filled with disbelief. "How is this possible? You had your innate fate bone dug out. How can you be so strong?" Annoying. Before he finished speaking, Lin Fan shot forward like an arrow. Zhang Boqi, who sensed the danger, was about to step back, when a slender hand reached out and pressed him down. Enormous force erupted suddenly, slamming his head heavily onto the ground. Zhang Boqi's eyes rolled back immediately, and he fainted straight away. Killing points, palm 100. Lin Fan heard the system prompt in his mind, and he couldn't help but smile faintly. In the silent training ground, a burst of cheers suddenly erupted. "Damn! Truly worthy of being a heavenly genius. Even if your innate fate bone was dug out, so what? My fate is determined by me, not by heaven." Amidst the deafening shouts, Shuja finally came to her senses. She rushed onto the arena in one go and shouted sharply, "Lin Fan, have you grown a pair of guts? Dare to hit my boyfriend? Stop right now." A faint smile played on Lin Fan's lips. "You called me a useless person. Then what is he?" Shushu was instantly infuriated. She channeled her spiritual energy and charged at Lin Fan. But in the next second, a crisp slap sound was heard. Chushu crashed headfirst into the arena. Her hairstyle was also destroyed by Lin Fan's slap. Chusha covered her face, wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. Then she looked up at Lin Fan in disbelief. "You useless piece of trash. I'll kill you." Shushu's eyes were filled with rage. As if she had gone crazy, she channeled her spiritual energy again and charged at Lin Fan. But Lin Fan took a step forward first and directly twisted her wrist. Before she could recover from the pain, Lin Fan grabbed Chusha's messy long hair with his other hand, lifted her up, and slammed her heavily onto the ground. In the next second, the arena cracked. Gravel flew everywhere. The onlookers at the training ground were all stunned. Damn, that's so ruthless. After this combo, Chusha's health bar is almost empty. Amidst the rising and falling discussions, Chusha lay on the ground like a dead dog, motionless, looking on the verge of death. Killing points. +1, 105. As soon as the system prompt ended, Lin Fan stepped on Chusha's disfigured face and walked away triumphantly. Not long after, he returned to the classroom. Lin Fan turned his head and looked out the window. His eyes flickered. Currently, the only divine ability granted by the system was the Samadhi True Fire. If a battle broke out, he still had to rely on martial arts techniques, but now he only had one first-tier martial art, the Ox Horse Fist, which his mother had exchanged for by selling his father's token of love. Ding. Killing points have another function. To modify and upgrade martial arts techniques, host, do you want to consume killing points? To modify the martial art? A look of excitement appeared in Lin Fan's eyes. He didn't expect there to be such a pleasant surprise. Add points. Ding. 205 killing points consumed. Martial art modification completed. 7th tier martial art. Dragon Tiger Blazing Fist. Lin Fan narrowed his eyes. His entire body emitted an extremely terrifying Dragon Tiger power. The Dragon Tiger Blazing Fist with master-level proficiency, its power is terrifying beyond imagination. Lin Fan, get out here. Come with me to the office. A middle-aged man with a dark face stood at the door. It was the Dean of Academic Affairs, Li Tai-cheng, whose cultivation level was first realm of Panjin. He was also the son-in-law of the Chu family. I wondered whose dog it was, barking non-stop. It turns out it's the Chu family's dog. Lin Fan spoke slowly. Li Tai-cheng's eyes widened. He never expected that this useless person in front of him dared to insult him in front of all the students in the class. Presumptuous! Li Tai-cheng roared. How dare a useless person like you be arrogant in front of me? It seems you're tired of living. Lin Fan let out a cold laugh and stood up slowly. If you want to make a move, go ahead and try. Li Tai-cheng's expression turned serious. Then he sneered. Since you, this useless person, are so eager to die, then I, your uncle, will grant you your wish. It's just right to clean up the Chu family's house for them. Before he finished speaking, Li Tai-cheng threw a powerful punch. However, looking at the fist that was right in front of him, Lin Fan didn't panic at all. He moved sideways like a ghost, easily dodging Li Tai-cheng's attack. At the same time, he clenched his right hand into a fist. Scarlet flames suddenly ignited on his fist. Carrying violent Dragon Tiger power, he smashed it heavily into Li Tai-cheng's abdomen. A dull thud sound was heard. Li Tai-cheng only felt a sharp pain in his abdomen. His whole body flew backward like a kite with a broken string and crashed heavily into the classroom wall. Li Tai-cheng, who was embedded in the wall, spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Impossible. How could I be sent flying with one punch by a useless person like you? Lin Fan curled his lips and let out a sneer. Amidst a loud shout, Lin Fan threw a punch. Demon flames transformed into the shape of a dragon and a tiger, surrounding his arm. Li Tai-cheng's pupils contracted. A look of fear appeared in his eyes. A bad premonition welled up in his heart instantly, but by then there was no way to retreat. I don't believe it. This useless person still wants to turn the tables? 4th tier martial art, Tiger Subduing Fist. A loud boom sound. Li Tai-cheng screamed in shock. The demon flames in the dragon tiger form swallowed his attack with overwhelming force. In the next second, the demon flames that could burn everything swept over like a tide, enshrouding his entire arm. Li Tai-cheng let out a shrill scream. His arm was devoured by the demon flames. His skin quickly charred under the high temperature. His flesh turned to ashes in the blazing flames. Lin Fan watched this scene coldly. There was no fluctuation in his eyes. He slowly retracted his fist, and the demon flames in the dragon tiger form dissipated along with it. Only a burnt smell remained in the air. Li Tai-cheng felt as if he had been granted amnesty. The excruciating pain made him almost faint several times. Looking at the blackened bone hanging from his shoulder, he let out another scream. The onlookers who had witnessed the entire process were all dumbfounded, looking as if they had seen a ghost. Damn. Lin Fan actually crippled the Dean of Academic Affairs. Li Tai-cheng is at the first realm of Panjin. Killing points price 300. Li Tai-cheng raised his head with difficulty. Although I don't know why you suddenly became so strong. But let me tell you this, Shu Feng has perfectly fused with your fate bone. When the Heavenly Covenant female battle begins, you will definitely die. Li Tiecheng screamed at the top of his lungs. Only in this way could the fear in his heart fade away. Lin Fan sneered, "The Heavenly Covenant female battle? Actually, I'm looking forward to it too. The Heavenly Covenant female battle." Li Tiecheng grinned grimly. "You violated the school rules by injuring me. Do you still want to go to the Heavenly Covenant female battle? Dream on." Suddenly, a dull thud sounded. Lin Fan stepped his foot into Li Tiecheng's mouth, forcing the remaining words he wanted to say, along with his teeth, back into his stomach. At the same time, an old man with gray hair appeared at the door and quickly shouted, "Stop!" It was Huang Xiu, the principal of Jiangcheng No. 1 High School. Huang Xiu strode over to the two of them. Looking at Li Tiecheng, who was severely injured on the ground, his eyes flickered. "Did you injure him like this?" Lin Fan didn't quibble. He nodded and said, "Yes. Are you going to expel me?" Huang Xiu raised an eyebrow. "Who said I'm going to expel you?" "I already know what happened." Li Tiecheng made the first move. "You were acting in self-defense." Huang Xiu's words made Li Tiecheng so angry that he suffered an internal injury. His vital energy surged upward, and he spoke hastily. "Principal Huang, you're covering for him, assaulting the Dean of Academic Affairs. He should be expelled." Huang Xiu nodded slightly when he heard this. "What you said makes sense. Li Tiecheng harmed a student and abused his power for personal gain. Jiangcheng No. 1 High School won't tolerate such a scumbag. You're expelled now. Get out." Li Tiecheng stood up with a sharp pain. "Principal Huang, before you make this decision, shouldn't you communicate well with my father-in-law first? Go back and tell Chu Wenzhong. If he doesn't want this matter to escalate, he should stop troubling Chu Tian. Otherwise, he'll bear the consequences." A murderous intent seemed to flash in Huang Xiu's eyes. His spiritual energy overflowed and gushed out overwhelmingly. Li Tiecheng, facing the aura pressure of a powerhouse at the peak of the imperial realm, felt as if a mountain was pressing down on him. With a plop, he fell to the ground, barely clinging to life. Then he struggled to stand up and scurried out of the classroom on all fours. Lin Fan on the side was filled with confusion. To protect me, he even risked offending the Chu family. What exactly is his reason for doing this? Huang Xiu turned his head to look at Lin Fan. "Come with me." After saying that, he didn't wait for Lin Fan to react and lifted his leg to walk forward. At this moment, in the principal's office, Lin Fan had just sat down. A faint smile appeared on Huang Xiu's face. "It seems that losing your innate fate bone didn't have much of an impact on you." Lin Fan replied ambiguously, "I guess this is a blessing in disguise for me." "I wonder why you called me here, Principal." Huang Xiu looked deeply at Lin Fan. He didn't press further. Instead, he took out a piece of paper and pushed it over. "This is a letter of introduction to the Martial Arts Pavilion. The Heavenly Covenant female battle is coming soon. Take this and go choose a martial art from the Martial Arts Pavilion." Looking at the letter of introduction in front of him, Lin Fan frowned slightly. "Principal, my fate bone was dug out. Isn't this inappropriate?" Huang Xiu shook his head and smiled faintly. "Although your fate bone was dug out, it seems to have had little impact on you now. Take it, you deserve it." "Principal Huang, I want to know what your purpose is for doing this?" After hesitating for a long time, Lin Fan finally asked the question that had been bothering him. Huang Xiu looked up. His eyes became unfocused, with a hint of reminiscence in them. "Just consider this as me repaying your father. He was kind to me." "Father?" Lin Fan repeated the word, but to him, it was such an unfamiliar term. In the original owner's memories, there was almost no memory of his father. Even his father's appearance was very blurry. "Is my father still alive?" Huang Xiu sighed. Shaking his head, he said, "I don't know about your father's situation. You'll have to find out for yourself slowly." After saying that, he waved his hand, issuing a dismissal. "Go, cultivate hard. Strive to perform well in the Heavenly Covenant female battle. And give the Chu family a surprise." Lin Fan stood up, bowed his head and left. Before he knew it, he had arrived at the Martial Arts Pavilion. Lin Fan exhaled a breath, took out the letter of introduction and handed it over. The female teacher in charge of guarding the Martial Arts Pavilion checked it carefully. After confirming it was correct, she stepped back a step. "Go in. You can only choose one martial art. After choosing, you can go to the training room to memorize it. You can't take the original copy away." Lin Fan clasped his hands in a gesture of thanks and said thank you. Then he lifted his leg and walked into the Martial Arts Pavilion. In front of the huge electronic screen, Lin Fen looked at the wide variety of martial arts and was dazzled for a moment, not knowing which one to choose. However, he already had the Dragon Tiger Blazing Fist as an offensive martial art, which was enough. So to ensure he was fully prepared, he still needed to equip himself with a movement martial art. Lin Fen made up his mind and clicked directly on the electronic screen. Soon, he found a second-tier movement martial art called Thunderbolt Movement. This is the one. After obtaining the martial art, Lin Fen randomly walked into a cultivation room and sat cross-legged. System, I want to upgrade Thunderbolt Movement. Ding, 300 killing points consumed to upgrade the martial art. Upgrade completed. 5th tier martial art, 3000 Thunderbolts Movement. The upgraded 3000 Thunderbolts Movement has 3 levels in total. First level, Thunder Flash. Moves as fast as lightning. Second level, Thunder Adaptation. Body shape changes in an instant. Third level, 3000 Thunder. Illusions. When cultivated to perfection, it can create 3000 Thunder illusions. As the system prompt ended, the upgraded 3000 Thunderbolts Movement was deeply engraved in his mind, as if he had memorized it countless times, able to recite it fluently even backwards. However, the most important part next was cultivation. Lin Fen closed his eyes tightly and immediately entered the cultivation state. Thunder energy surged within his body, crackling and popping. This process was difficult and fraught with obstacles. At the same time, in the Chu family residence in the western part of Jiangcheng, Chu Wenzhong was in high spirits, sitting high on a Grand Master's chair. He looked as if he had regained his youth. The hall below was filled with distinguished guests, who were representatives from various families in Jiangcheng coming to offer their congratulations. The news that Chu Feng had successfully fused the S-rank innate fate bone had spread like wildfire. Known to everyone, once the Heavenly Covenant female battle began in the future, Chu Feng would definitely rise to prominence. By then, the status of the entire Chu family would rise accordingly, and they might even become a royal clan. If they waited until that time to curry favor, it would probably be too late. Therefore, many noble families came to congratulate Old Master Chu in advance. Congratulations to the Chu family for nurturing a genius like Chu Feng. We hope you will take good care of my Chen family in the future. The fat man speaking was Chen Shijun, the head of the Chen family, a second-tier noble family in Jiangcheng. Hearing this, Chu Wenzhong was overjoyed, his old face breaking into a smile like a chrysanthemum. He was just about to speak, when a cry suddenly came from outside the hall door. Father, you must avenge me.